last year. We got the money. We got more elected officials in this country than any other people ever produced in the history of time, in the same segment of time, and it don't seem to make any difference. So the missing piece in the economic, politics, and culture has to be the culture part. And that's why you could be in a community that's 100% black, and somebody tells you you can't teach black history. You know, shit like that. Excuse me. But just think of it. You know, what's worse is us saying, you said, we didn't say you said what? And every black child in that community not be in the school the next day. But unfortunately, we got to work and we got to do other things and we don't have a way to take care of our children, so we got to come up with some other means. Like this school here. Support it. Do everything in your power with your money and your numbers to support this school right here. So you can set a model that the others have to follow. If they come to mess with this brother, put 10,000 people around this building and say, dare not touch it. And mean it. Malcolm said the secret to life is to have no fear. But the fear should be your friend. Tell you a little thing about fear. They used to teach us this back in the day. You know, when you're in a martial arts class, they teach you, like, if a car is coming at you, what makes you jump out of its way? What makes you jump out of its way is the adrenaline that fills your muscles as a result of your fear. But if you don't have the knowledge and the skills to jump, that same fear causes paralysis in the same muscles, and you stay in there and you die. So fear can either be your friend or it can be your enemy. It can give you paralysis or it can give you freedom. And that's why Malcolm said the secret to life is to have no fear. What he meant was put fear in context. So what Asa was talking about when he's talking about the culture war, we are in a culture war. They will let you have money, they will give you jobs, they'll give you a college degree, they give you all of those things, but they won't teach you about black history. Hey, they say, you ain't got no history. That stuff ain't nothing. Then teach it to me. Teach me nothing then. Because they know that in that history is who you are going to be. Remember the thing I said? The future is something that you aspire for, it's hopes, it's inspiration, but there's nothing there. The present is coming into being, so nothing is finished or completed for you to model after. Only in the past, only in history, only in history are you able to get what you need to recreate yourself into what you need to be. And he's keeping us from doing that. So one of the things we need to start doing, and everybody in here can do it, grandparents, parents, aunts, uncles, open your home on Saturday and Sundays for Saturday and Sunday schools. Tutor the children in your family and get with some other neighbors and y'all go from house to house and tutor each other's children on the weekend. If you don't think there's power in that, start doing it. You'll also have a better relationship with your children, and you'll be able to spiritually teach them how to protect themselves from what's in the streets. You know, love is a very powerful thing, but love isn't a word. It's something that gets demonstrated through action. You know? So start opening Saturday schools, open after schools, open Sunday schools. And for those who go to churches and other places, demand that they let you use those buildings and facilities on the weekends to supplement your children's education.
That's right.
You got to take that seriously, because this is a war to kill you. I already told you, you are your ancestors. That your children is the best of your genes, the latest version and the highest tech model. Now, if you don't protect them, they'll be killed and you'll die. Even if you're in your grave 50 years, if you haven't prepared for these generations to live, then you've murdered your own generations even before they came. Even before they came. Now, Dr. Hilliard went on to say, the hegemonic agenda that drives it. He was talking about the things that push it. He said the goals of the white man in terms of us is dehumanization. He wants to crush ethnic identity and belonging. He wants to carry out ethnic cleansing. He wants to divide us. His colonization of information. is miseducation and the colonization of the image of God itself. What the white man has done is turned God into a white man. Yes, he has. Close your eyes. The only God y'all gonna see is the white man. Long as I've been at this, every now and then, I see that same white man. He's still up in my head. I'm fighting him every minute of the day. So if he's still up in my head, I know he's up in your head. But if you know he's there, then you know what to fight. Because that's what he's put there. He's made God in the white man's image. He tells you he's made in God's image. No, he's made God in his image, and you bought it. I used to open lectures by saying, "The hell with Jesus, half the room would leave." 1/3 want to leave now, but y'all be cool. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. The concept of Christ is not a white man's concept now. Let's back up on it a little bit. The concept is an African concept. You go back to ancient Egypt, ancient Ethiopia, and then you talk about Heru, the hero, one they call Horus, the son born to Immaculate Conception. My brother in the back from Ethiopia, I was in Ethiopia a few years ago, and I visited the church of Miriam, the old church of Miriam. They have a 6th century painting of the Madonna and Child, black. She's wearing a blue robe with gold trimming, and the child is wearing white with gold trimming. Michelangelo and them don't paint until the 15th century. This mural is 10 foot tall. Only men are allowed in the church of Miriam, and the one that the queen didn't burn down. And we know that there's a new year celebrated, I think it's the 11th of September. And that new year is celebrating Osiris, Isis, and Heru. And in it they do the drama of how Isis go and find her husband's body and brings him back to life. This is Ethiopia today. So our history is lost. It's right there. But somebody is keeping us from seeing it. Keeping us from loving our brother there and letting him open up so he can love us. See, and then you get how to know each other. People say, you be too romantic about Africa. I think Wade put it best. If you love somebody, what do? You romance them, don't you? Right. So don't let nobody tell you don't romanticize Africa. I love Africa, and I will romanticize Africa every minute of every day. Dr. Hill's going, he says, Dr. Hill said, provide essential information and resources. And then samples of profound African excellence tradition, meaning our history, our tradition, like reading books like the Hosea, where Dr. Malana has taken excerpts from about 20 or 30 ancient books to show you, or reading papyrus like Papyrus of Ai. Papyrus of Ai is where you get the story of dialogue with the soul. And you see where Sigmund Freud got his concept of the human subconscious from, you know. And you can go on. We have so much beautiful literature. He said, rebuild and take control of raising ourselves, meaning we have to rebirth ourselves with new information. We must raise ourselves up again with knowledge to be African people. He said, the matter of leadership, the indispensable criteria for a leader. A leader identifies with the family and belongs to it. A leader is in continuing dialogue with the family. A leader operates in the interest of the family. A leader moves to advance family priorities. A leader protects and defends the family. A leader is accountable to the family. Without the family, you can't build a nation. You cannot build a nation. The family is the foundation of civilization. Show you how silly the white man flipped us if we didn't get it. Mary, Jesus, and God. They kind of cut off Joseph out of the picture. But if you read the Bible, they said Jesus comes from the house of David. Don't they say that? He's of the line of David and Solomon. Don't they say it? But guess who's related to the blood of Solomon? Not Mary, Joseph. So somebody lied to you then, huh? Because if Jesus is the line of David and Mary ain't related some child, huh? But we missed that because we saw it, but we didn't read it because he had read something else into our minds. I'm going to wrap down in a few minutes because I'm going to take a break. Then I'm going to come back because I got a whole bunch of stuff to give y'all, but it'll all be on tape. I'm going to just tell you this one little anecdote piece. And then we come back, we're going to really get into the spirituality piece because that's the piece I really want to break down for you. But Mary Magdalene, my grandmother's name was Susan Pigeon Small. They call her Pigeon because she danced a lot. And Mama was a root woman, so I'm the root woman's son. The one who she really raised close to the breast. But near the time for Mama to go, she told me her real name was Mary Magdalena. But that, when her older sister died and drowned, because we lived on the river, she took her sister's name Susan because she didn't want to be called Magdalena because she was a whore and a harlot. So I went and got the Bible read from cover to cover 2 or 3 times over a year and a half. There's not a single thing in the Bible that called Mary Magdalena a whore or a harlot. What that came from was the attempt to hide the fact that Mary Magdalena was the wife of the character they called Jesus. It's right there in the Bible where he marries this woman. But you haven't seen it because somebody has put something else in your mind. Some people say, Small, I've been going to church for years. Boy, you done told a lie now. No, you got to look at the wedding feast where Jesus brings the wine to the feast. If you read, you'll see that the feast, the people at the wedding party was being served by Mary, Jesus' sister Sarah, and his older brother James. So much for the virgin thing. There could be no wedding because everybody had to wait for Jesus to come. Right. And when he comes, he turns the water to wine because they said they ran out of wine. How are you going to run out of wine if you didn't have the feast because you was waiting for him to come? But the Bible, as we are told, is written in allegory and parables. Allegory and parables is the way to tell a story using very little words but covering a large concept, principle, and ideas. In the Hebrew tradition, it is the groom that brings the wine to the wedding. In the Hebrew tradition, it is the family of the groom that served the wedding party. Everything in that story tells you that Jesus is the one getting married. Because you see no other mentioning of who the groom is in that wedding. And the person he got married to is that lady who on that Sunday morning in the parable is at the tomb with his mama when the stone is rolled away. Magdalena. And it was to her he came before he even talked to any disciples. Black folks got married in those days, people. They were not caught up in this church homo thing that's going on now. Okay? And no disrespect to any brother or sister who are gay or homosexual. I understand the damage white folks have done to you just like I understand the damage they've done to me and others in other kinds of ways. And my love for a brother or sister who's homosexual is not diminished one bit. I will love you and I will fight with you and for you, and I expect you to love, fight with me and for me. But we must understand the damage the white